Hi, Emily from nonprofitist.org here. I have Lucy Binfield of SOS Silence of Suicide. They are a nonprofit out of the United Kingdom. And Lucy, tell us more about your organization.
Thank you. So I work for SOS Silence of Suicide, which is a really small registered charity based in the UK, like you mentioned. And it was founded back in 2015 by celebrated barrister Michael Mansfield and his wife Yvette Greenway Mansfield, with the mission to stop the shame and to stop the stigma associated with suicide and mental health difficulties. So it started off as quite a small social support group and grew fairly quickly into holding bigger events and offering a wide variety of support services for anyone affected by suicide. So it's a little different than a lot of mental health organizations that might be targeted towards the bereaved or people suffering with depression or people who are struggling with suicidal ideations. But what SOS Silence of Suicide does is aims to be a platform for conversation around all those groups of people. So anyone affected by suicide in any form can join the events and participate and get some support. So obviously at the moment, the organization is fairly limited in what it can do because of the ongoing pandemic in the UK. So they've switched to mainly social media and online support services. So at the moment, it's all about Zoom calls, online events, and social media campaigns, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good shift, and the isolation has definitely brought underlying mental illness issues to the surface for a lot of people. So have you guys been a lot more busy since all this began?
Yeah, it's actually been a year of transition, I think, in lots of ways for the organization. Since the pandemic hit, there's also, with the organization's opened a mental health support helpline, which is open every day in the UK. So I'm sure you'll be able to share the helpline number. For any of your readers might be in the UK, you'll be able to share the helpline number, which is open every single day and has been receiving lots of calls. And the demand has probably exceeded what we expected. We've had to also learn how to manage the helpline in terms of volunteer management, in terms of any kind of data management as well. So it's been a learning curve, but I think it's quite obvious to a lot of people that the pandemic has brought mental health issues to the forefront, and it's a really key time to be doing this kind of work. So it's more important than ever, but also brought its own challenges as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So can anyone in the world call the helpline? Do you get people calling from outside of your area, or?
We have an online chat, which is available from anywhere. We don't get callers for the helpline from outside the UK. I think if you had to I think you'd have to pay money. So I wouldn't recommend that people do call the helpline from outside the UK. But the online chat is free and accessible between 1 and 6 p.m. every day in the UK. So we have to do a time conversion to when that is, but that's accessible to anyone in the world. We also have a bi-weekly Zoom chat, which really would be amazing for anyone to join. That would be a really good opportunity to get involved from anyone who's outside the UK. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. That's GMT time on every second Sunday.
Awesome. Do you have different speakers on there, or how do those work?
Yeah, it's a kind of open event. We've had different speakers, and especially from our group, we've got a group of fairly high-profile ambassadors who are fairly well-known people in the UK that will come on the Zoom chat, especially certain members of them more active than others. And it's also an opportunity for, if you are just feeling a bit lonely and you'd like to have a chat with some new people, it's kind of a nice opportunity to log on for a couple of hours as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I saw you have quite the list of ambassadors.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It's one of the better, most key resources for the organization, actually.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So how long until you think you'll be able to be doing in-person events again, and how do those work?
Yeah, it really depends. I think we are having in our mind, we want to be as safe as possible, and especially the second wave is looking potentially to even worse than the first in the UK. So we've not scheduled anything. But before the pandemic hit, it was quite common, or quite not unusual for Yvette, the co-founder, to host events at universities or in corporate settings, like work-related settings, for 200, 300 people. And that was the kind of core service that the organization was providing. And those events are really a kind of vibrant way to open up a conversation about mental health, and really successful. So it is a slight mourning of that those events have changed. But yeah, I mean, times do change.
Yeah, we definitely have to pivot and shift. I love how you bring all of the different parties involved in trying to remove the stigma and bringing them all under one umbrella. I think that's really helpful. Can you share a story with us about, someone who was impacted by the organization or something like that?
We've got some testimonials on our website. I actually don't want to say anything in detail because I don't want to accidentally share anyone's personal information, but we've got a testimonials page on the website which we can share with you afterwards. Okay. I don't want to, it's obviously really sensitive.
Privacy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where's the best place to connect with you guys? Where are you guys most active? Facebook.
Facebook. We've also got a private group which is fairly active for people to talk about anything they want to on Facebook. We hope that'll grow as a platform for people to share whatever's going through their mind at the moment. We're really active on Twitter as well. We've also active on Instagram and LinkedIn, perhaps a bit less so. And the website's got loads of different resources, and it's got lots of ways to contact us. So I would suggest you start with the website, which is, I think, will you share the website?
Yes, www.sossilenceofsuicide.org, and we will definitely get that linked below as well.
That'd be great.
So where do you see yourself going in the future? Are you going to stay with your focus in the United Kingdom, or do you see yourselves expanding beyond those borders? Or
yeah, there's been a lot of it's through word of mouth and connection, so we'd definitely be interested in doing events or anything outside the UK. But since it's such a small organization, I think it inevitably has a very local and very specific focus. We don't want to stretch ourselves too thin, but at the same time, anything that comes up, why not? I think after the pandemic hopefully is over, we'll be back to big events and to similar kind of work.
Wonderful. Well, anything else you want to share, Lucy?
If anyone's struggling with their mental health, there's not just SOS available, there's lots of resources available. There's some on our website, the internet's really active, so just reach out for help. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think the more conversations we have about it, and the less the stigma becomes. And I think that is really important because people need to feel safe and comfortable to vocalize that they're struggling. It's a part of life. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Lucy. We will definitely have to touch base with you in the future, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, and to you, Emily.